Welcome to my garden, the GinGee GoodEarth show. It's good to be here with you today, and always remember, no matter what our attempts to inform, it is our ability to inspire that will turn the tides. Jan Phillips, Syracuse Cultural Workers.com. Check them out. Again, welcome to the GinGee GoodEarth show. Your host, Ginger Lily. Production 20, Part A. Director, GinGee GoodEarth. This is for the American and international peoples of the world. October 8th, 2020, USA, Pittsburgh. Take love. Well, it's really great to be back. I will have to tell you, I have taken exactly a month off. September 8th was my last show, and I took a month off to regroup and celebrate my birthday month by traveling and encouraging others to be happy about life, and to always remember that daily we have to adapt, advance, and achieve. Always. I'm always by your side. We're in this great world together. And as Dr. Seuss once said, be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those whose matter don't mind. Dr. Seuss. Always remember, expression is a birthright, a part of your freedom. And I have a special music box that I'm going to play, and you tell me what song, what tune is this? Give you a clue. Born free, free as the wind blows. We were all born free. Remember, freedom, prosperity, and peace. Advance, adapt, achieve. Achieve, advance, and adapt. Smile is not a word. It's a beautiful sentence. S for speak, M for more, I for innovative, L for using energy. Always keep a smile, be happy, good morning. Speak more in less energy. That's the acronym for smile. S for speak, M for more, I for in, L for less, E for energy. Speak more in less energy. So, smile is not a word to a beautiful sentence. So always keep smiling, be happy, and have a great day today. And today I'm going to read a great part of the book, A Universal History of the United States of America. And Judy Garland once said, where is Judy Garland? I have her quote. Always be a first-rate version of yourself instead of a second-rate version of somebody else. So be the person that you are. It's a part of your essential list to activate yourself, to be a part of the everyday living of all people. Whoopsie. I want to share a great recipe today for those folks that love to make cocktails. This is called Cotton Punch. Pour out 1 ounce of apricot brandy, a ½ ounce of lime juice, 1 ounce of Curaçao. Shake with cracked ice, strain into a frappe or hot whiskey glass, decorate with a ½ slice of orange, 1 cube of pineapple, and 1 cherry. And I'm going to play the music box again and let you enjoy that. And again, Curaçao is a island, and there is a drink, Blue Curaçao, and it's a liquor flavored with the dried peel of the bitter orange citrus fruit grown on the Dutch island of Curaçao. So you'll have to look that up at the spirit shop of liquors. And it's usually a blue bottle. And the recipe that I have here from the Stoffers recipe book is called Cotton Punch. Pour out 1 ounce of Curaçao, 1 ounce of apricot brandy, and a ½ ounce of lime juice. Shake with cracked ice and strain into a frappe or hot whiskey glass. Decorate with a ½ slice of orange, 1 cube pineapple, and 1 cherry. Okay, enjoy. And that was something that I had tried with my supper. And again, my program, its intention is to educate, amuse, enrich, and to include civility, nice matters, and it's fun-filled. And today, of all days, I surrender. Yes, I surrender. I surrender, and I'm going to put on Whole Body Essentials Surrender. And I want to surrender my secrets and information on life experiences, on UFOs, extraterrestrials, and more than magic events. Okay, so I have an interview that was on Third Phase Moon yesterday with the Cousin Brothers production, and it was unexpected of me to call in. They hadn't been on air for 2 years, and they put a show on. I just happenstance to be on YouTube at the time, and I got the notification that they were on, and they said they were taking in callers, and I thought, well, heck, I'm going to try. So I used actually two phones, because I wasn't sure, what to do, and I didn't have anything memorized or ready to go. Okay, in this picture, there's an orb. See the orb? Orange? I'm pointing it to it in this photograph. And so on this picture show that I have on the GinGee GoodEarth program, I will show you pictures of more than magic. So how else do I explain this? Again, my program, there is no script. I have fun just putting on the stage props. And, sometimes it can be challenging. And, to find everything. I haven't been around for a month. Oh, I know where my first American dolls are. They're in the stage prop show for White Buffalo Spirits. I was wondering, where are my dolls? Where are my dolls? I had the Mexican doll, and here's the first American doll. And, I had put her away, and I didn't know where, where is she? Where is she? So there she is. So I don't know if we can make her stand up. I knew I was missing some dolls, but I have several stages that I worked on so that I could do my programming. Isn't that a beautiful violin, fiddle, painting? I bought that from the local area flea market. And I do have my special herbs from the garden. I have spearmint, lemongrass, sage, and oregano in this wonderful little bundle. And again, I love bumper stickers, and I have both my cars from 1991 Plymouth Acclaim and a 1992 Dodge Dynasty are just filled with bumper stickers. And this bumper sticker says clean, preserve, and protect. And again, I am a Climate Reality Leadership Corps leader, and Al Gore is the founder and chairman. I do not support archaic activism, though. So let's get that clear. I support true blue ecology interventions for a sustainable environment. So with that being said, I believe in peace. And I believe in the freedom of art. And always be true blue as you can. And take your essentials on the go. And what I mean by that is think with your brain and your heart every day. Those are your essentials, so that we can keep peace, prosperity, and freedom. And again, my program is to educate, amuse, enrich, and we're all working on civility and nice matters and the fun-filled aspects of life. And in the picture show, I do have the gin. So when the gin picture comes up, I will point it out. And the creature is a standing creature with a very colorful, well, there's outlined in red, I'd say like a red, burnt, brown, orange fur, but the face definitely has a definition of very dark black. Now, it looks like a raccoon, but the colors are not the same as a raccoon, but the face is similar, and it's an upright creature. And then, this is on the left side of the picture, you will see part of the spacecraft. And I was at a horse farm. I love horses. My family's been horse trainers and owned polo farms in Kentucky, and my grandmother Schmitt is buried in Kentucky. And she was a horse trainer and a horse lover, and I'm a horse show judge, and I love horses, especially the purple ones. Those are my favorite. So, without further ado, we're going to start reading the Universal History of the United States of America, and you go ahead and enjoy the picture show, and I will kind of close in on it. I also have a makeshift way that I film my videos, and I'll pick up the camera, and let's do a quick run screen through on my camera set so that you could see that this is my tripod. I don't know what happened, but both my tripods do not work on my camera. So again, here is the herb bouquet, and again, my bumper sticker for preserve, protect, clean environment. And so we should always think about recycle, reuse, renew. And so here's some of my features of my stage props. Again, this little camera shot is the buzz on the honeybee. And again, I wrote a book called Honey for All, and it teaches you how to become a beekeeper. And there's the famous poem, Keep on Feeling, and I'll read that at the very end. Okay? And that's my fan-voted #1 poem from the book Honey for All, which you can get on Etsy.com, Wild Trout Lily. And then I did this, and this is my stage setup. And the reason why I'm showing you is because I want this next generation to be able to do film footage of their favorite things, and create their own storytelling music videos. And here is the Norwegian tribal dress that I'll be doing reproductions of. And again, I have a whole section on the Vikings and the history of the Vikings, because culture is so important. And don't let people deny you of the importance of your culture. And there's a gnome, which are very popular at this time. And here, oh, look at the chickadee on the camera. See the little chickadee? I'm sure there's a special name for that bird. You could look it up, but let's look at it again. And, oh, isn't that cute? Looks like a pregnant bird. It's so fat. And again, I love nature, and there she is, GinGee GoodEarth, my label. And this weekend I'm going to help be at a fundraiser at Crooked Creek Park, and which is a wonderful park. And again, all the different dolls which I have described in my previous videos. And I am finishing up the collages that I have worked on in my prior videos. So I'll get to show you the results of that. And it's really good to be back. And I'm going to go ahead and start reading where we left off on the Universal History of the United States of America. And I'm going to get this video situated so that we can see the gin that I took pictures of in Cranberry Township. And when it comes on, I also take pictures of clouds. And this is a neat story, which I'll probably repeat. But I was with Lakota Nation at a powwow in Saltsburg, Pennsylvania, and he was giving a dance demonstration. Clear, just totally clear blue sky. And I looked up, and there was Katanka, a cloud of a buffalo. Now, doesn't this look like a reindeer? And I actually see the same cloud sometimes in the sky. And so I was witness to 3 sets of 2, razzle-dazzle, sparkling, continuously beautiful UFOs, in plain sight in front of me. And I was all inspired. And I even called my mother. I said, Mother, I just saw 6 UFOs, razzle-dazzle, tangerine pink, sparkling. It's one of the most beautiful sights of color that I ever witnessed in my lifetime. And that was in May of 2012. And then I reported it to the Weather Channel because, you know, I don't know, you remember those days you'd stay up all night on your laptop, you know, researching and having fun with Skype and Facebook and videos. You know, I don't do that anymore. I don't stay up all night. I'm a grandmother now. But in 2012, I would stay up through the night on my laptop, messing around, and that's when the razzle-dazzle sparkling UFOs appeared in front of me, which, you know, I knew then, if I did not know before, that there's more to life than just being a human on Earth, that we're an abundance of many things, and the universe is a wonderment of nature. This is a picture of the chemtrails, which now we don't have. After the pandemic and the close down of the March 11th airports, and here you can see the airplane. It's actually spreading out those chemtrails. We've had such great health. Everyone's health is improved, and I'm a clinical dietitian, and I ask about people's health, and it's almost like magic. It is more than magic, and our health is becoming better. We're healing, and there hasn't been chemtrails because of the stoppage of the airline industry. And then, you know, around June, you know, more planes were, you know, a little bit more planes, okay, were flying, and then, you know, you could see just a few. But again, when I see that morning blue sparkle, azure blue sky all through the morning and all through the afternoon, I find that to be a miracle. I had no idea that there would be something that was of evil intent to hurt us, and those chemtrails were clogging our skies and clogging the air that we breathe. And it's so good to see blue azure sparkles in the skies again. So I talked about that photo, but there's all kinds of tips and secrets in my photos because I want to share. So, and since I found this bookmark, and you know, I keep all the labels from clothing and merchandise, and I reuse them. And this word between, okay, see the word between, B-T-W-E-E-N. Well, there's no E, I just noticed that, but the offing, and I'll tell you about this today. The offing is what lies, whoops, see, I have a very bad video that's up here. The offing is what lies between. Okay, let's move it up so you can see the pictures. Whoops, this is going to be a challenge. So what is an offing? The offing is what lies between when you're, let's say, at the ocean beach and you're watching the sunset, and then you see a line between the vast ocean where it meets the sky and the sunset. There's a line. That's what lies in between. What is that? That is a real thing. That's called the offing. That's what lies in between. It's a force. It's an energy. It exists. The offing. You check it out sometime. Now see my fingers here? This is how you tell. You use your hand. This is a first American method on determining how many minutes between the sunset and the sun rising. But your hand, if you put it out in front of you and you put it on the offing, and you move it up until you see the sun, and you move it up until you see the sun, that tells you how many 15 minutes the sun will set. So you try it. You put your hand out like this, and you, from the sun, you really want to do it from the sun to the offing, and you count how many places of the wideness of your hand, usually 15 minutes, and you can be that exact on the number of minutes until sunset. So try it. and you'll find it to be very true. Well, my bookmark fell out, but I will try to find where we left off, and I don't relook at my videos, so... But I think I remember this. So, I'm going to just start on page 166, and then I'll try to follow up. So, I need the flashlight. I'm working in the dark. And this is a lot of fun. It's really daylight out, but I have, oh, this flashlight's gone bad. That's what happens when you take a month off vacation and try to get back to it. So anyway, here we have the old book. Okay, there's the old book. And whoops, well, I'll go back. I remembered. Here's some antique writing. The owner of the book was well, that looks DDC, some antique writing. I'm not sure. And here, look at, this is what part of the book. The name of the owner of the book. Didn't you write your initials and your name in your book so that you knew that it was yours? And there, oh, okay, this is a picture of chained humanity. See this? That picture of chained humanity? Okay. I don't like that statue. And what the heck would that statue be built for a park? That's at Twin Lakes Park. And it just reminds me of chained humanity, human suffering. Okay, here we have the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And it's 1776, July 4th. And here we have George Washington. Okay, Washington. So the book has wonderful lithographs. And again, I'm reading The Universal History of the United States of America. And it was written by C.B. Taylor. So we're catching up. Okay, this is probably a day more to catch up. And again, I'm Ginger Lily. And I have an Etsy store, Wild Trout Lily, and I sell Victorian vintage clothing. It's more of an informational site, and more than and it's not really, I don't own a storefront, so you can enjoy it. So what I want to do, I want to get to page 165. You're probably like, oh no, don't go back, I want to move forward. I'm sure you do. Okay, but nothing is greater than repetitiveness to help your memory. So, I'm going to start, I thought I said 168, so we're going to go back to 168. Okay, we'll talk about let's do something exciting. So, we're quoting. We're going to start on the 10th of May. The day on which Colonel Allen demanded the surrender of Ticonderoga, body assembled in Philadelphia, and commenced its session. The Honorable Petton Randolph was reappointed President and Charles Thompson Secretary. In June, by special resolve, the Congress interdictated and all intercourse with the enemy, and assumed the style of the 12 United Colonies, under sanction of which a day of fasting was appointed for the 30th of July following. On the 5th, General Washington, then a member from Virginia, a young man, was appointed to the responsible station of Commander-in-Chief of the American forces. He accepted the trust and the great diffidence in reply to the President. After accepting the appointment, he added, "But lest some unlikely event should happen unfavorable to my reputation, I beg it may be remembered by every gentleman in the room that I this day declare with the utmost sincerity I do not think myself equal to the command I am honored with. As to pay, sir, I beg leave to assure the Congress that as no pecuniary consideration could have tempted me to accept this arduous employment at the expense of my domestic ease and happiness. I do not wish to make any profit from it. I will keep an exact account of my expenses. Those I doubt not they will discharge, and that is all I desire." On presenting this special commission to General Washington, a resolution was unanimously adopted that they would maintain and assist him, and adhere to him, with their lives and fortunes in the ease of American liberty. And you can see I brought a doll, Liberty doll, onto my display. And one of the pictures I have is New York City. And also, again, I'm a Pittsburgher and a New Yorker. And I have the Statue of Liberty picture on the picture show. That's antiquity from the 50s or 40s. So, there you go. General Washington. He did not want any pay, and he did not want to profit from it. On presenting this special commission to General Washington, a resolution was unanimously adopted that they would maintain and assist him and adhere to him with their lives and fortunes in the cause of American liberty. Liberty is one's potential for success in life, by Gretchen Schmitt. Immediately after this was the appointment of 4 major generals: Artemus Ward, Charles Lee, Philip Schroeder, and Israel Putnam, and 8 brigadier generals: Seth Pomeroy, Richard Montgomery, David Wooster, William Heath, Joseph Spencer, John Sullivan, and Nathanael Greene. On the 2nd of July, 15 days from the date of his commission, Washington arrived at headquarters in Cambridge, accompanied by General Lee and several other gentlemen. The sentiment felt and expressed throughout the country was that of, under God, Washington must be the savior of his country. What was their presentiment is now historically recorded. General Washington entered on the duties of his new office under the most discouraging circumstances. He was indeed at the head of 14,000 men, but without discipline, without order, and nearly destitute of military stores and of most of the conveniences necessary to the well-being of the army, of any army. New efforts and new energies became necessary, and they were applied with effect. At this time, General Howe commanded the main body of the British Army, which was posted on Bunker's Hill. Another division was securely stationed near Roxbury. The fleet covered the reserve and Boston. The main body of the American army was posted at Cambridge under the guardianship of the commander-in-chief. The right rested on Roxbury, made General Ward, and the left was securely posted on Prospect Hill under General Lee. About 3,000 men filled the intermediate spaces under the command of General Putnam and others. The American army, thus posted, held a controlling power which left the British in a state of siege, or at least of land blockade. So look up that word blockade. On the 14th and the 22nd of June, Congress ordered a battalion of riflemen to be raised in Virginia and Pennsylvania, and such was the spirit of patriotism in these states, that on the 7th of August they were raised, accoutred, and embodied with the army, without drawing on the public treasury for a single cent. At this time, the wants of the army were truly embarrassing and exposed the Americans to a great danger in the event of an attack, which was anticipated. Among the most important were the want of ammunition and bayonets. Camp equipage and engineers were in great request, and the disaffliction of officers, occasioned by certain appointments of Congress, were truly distressing. Added to this, the many of the troops were to be disbanded in November, and the longest term of service would close with the year. But the zeal, which was the fruit of the righteous cause, prevailed, and they were enabled to conquer their difficulties. The result might have been very different. The American force had lately been augmented by a reinforcement of 8,000 men, and the commander-in-chief, of course, called the council to settle on a plan of operations for the summer campaign. So the war campaigns, they had different campaigns. And there's Joe Pye Weed in the picture. Joe Pye Weed. And I direct Joe Pye Music Festival. There's also great pictures on an angel cloud. Okay, and I took that picture on a Butler farm. You know that farm series called The King's Family Farm? Well, I went to visit the farm and I got great cloud pictures of angels soaring through the sky. That's another type of Joe Pye weed, and that's Laurel Hannah. Well, that's called Laurel Lake Park. So the Americans had lately been augmented by a reinforcement of 8,000 men, and the commander-in-chief, of course, called the council to settle on a plan of operations for the summer campaign. The council determined on a blockade, as the want of ammunition precluded the idea of an assault on the town. Of the British force, it had been well ascertained that since the 19th of April, 2,500 of the army had, by various means, been lost, and it was thought that before the recruits should arrive in the spring, the army would be much weakened. So somehow they lost 2,500 men. About this time, an invitation was sent to New York by General Gage to enlist as volunteers the foreign seamen who might be there. In October, Falmouth in Massachusetts was burnt by the order of the English government, which directed that the towns on the seacoast should be laid waste for the sin of rebellion. But the step was impolitic, as it was inhuman. Okay, so let's think about what's happening in California and the California fires. You know, is that some kind of, sin of rebellion because people are standing up for their human rights? The flames of Falmouth, like those of Charlestown, roused the spirit of the colonies afresh and called forth more union and greater exertions. Frigates and privateers were fitted for the sea and commissioned against the commerce of the enemy of the state, and 2 battalions of Marines were raised for that service. Cruisers were sent out to intercept supplies for the British. A spirit of adventure was raised, and success attended it. Captain Manley of the privateer Lee took a rich store ship laden with supplies for the army in Boston, which encouraged the Americans in proportion as it disheartened and distressed the enemy, for whose use the supplies were much needed. On hearing readings of the Battle of Lexington, the spirit of South Carolina, and I used to live on Fripp Island, Beaufort, South Carolina, and it was beautiful. I lived right on the furthest point that jutted out into the Atlantic Ocean, and there we have a monarch butterfly on Joe Pye weed. And monarch butterflies and all the butterflies just love, love, love Joe Pye weed. It starts blooming in August. It starts growing pretty much in July. It grows 9 feet tall with the trumpet head. But by the second week of September, Joe Pye weed demise occurs because of the cold fall weather that comes rolling in. So, the cruisers were sent out and intercept supplies for the British. A spirit of adventure was raised, and success attended it. Captain Manley of the privateer Lee took a